Hey guys, welcome to session 34 of Java Full Stack Made Easy. So as discussed yesterday, I spoke about filters, maps, then sorted, distinct, collect, count, reduce, right? So some of the commonly used stream operations I have shown you with very simple examples. So as discussed yesterday, I told you that we will bring in a more realistic approach to these functionalities, and we will see how these things can be used in real time by implementing user-defined collection, right? So in this session, we will be talking about the same thing with more realistic example, and also we will include concepts like anyMatch, allMatch, and grouping concepts into the streams. Fine. So this was my last example related to streams yesterday. So let me just clean up everything that I have written. And if you remember, I created one player class for collections, right? So I'd like to once again modify that particular class. So here is my player class, and I'll include another property into this, which is gonna be private string the team, so that I can find out the players based on the team and all that, right? So just to include more uh, grouping statements, or maybe more filtering can be added by implementing more properties to it. So that is added, and I'll generate the getter setters for the same. For all the other properties, already getter setters are there, and I will generate a constructor because the constructor that I have in my previous example does not include this team. So I'll generate the constructor using all four fields generated. And since the old constructor is not required, I might even delete this particular constructor. Fine. So as for now, I'll not delete it. I'll keep it as it is, because some of the other classes are already using that particular constructor, right? So let that be as it is. So now what I have is I have a player model class with four properties, that is the jersey number, team, role, and name, right? Name, jersey number, role, and team. For that, I have generated the getter setters and everything. Also, let's generate a toString method. Fine, so that the toString also adds the team. Yeah, previous toString doesn't have a team. So let's generate that. Generate a toString with all the properties. So I'm done with the done with the model class. Now my requirement would be what? I'd like to create some players and then apply the stream operations on these players that I have created. So what I'll do is in this particular class itself, initialization, everything that I'm doing with the player, I'll do it with let's do it inside the constructor, so that I can differentiate, I can separate it with the main method, or I can do everything inside the main method as well. Fine. So let's create a list of players, a list of type player. Let's call this as players. This is the same example that we are taking, right? So like yesterday, instead of just creating an array list, we can here for user defined collections also, we can use a arrays.as list. So let's use that arrays.as list. So now we can directly add the objects into this particular list. So for that, what I will do is I'll say new player. Now let's call the constructor that takes four things, that is the name, jersey number, role, and team. So name, jersey number, role, and team. Similarly, I would like to add more players in this. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's add some 8 players into this. Okay, 8, 9 players into this. Say Rohit, 45 batsmen, and MI. Pant. Let's give some jersey number. Yeah, wicket keeper, and the team is what? LSG, right? So similarly, let's add Pandya 41 MI, Shami 21 and Bowler GT. Let's say LSG and one more. Let's add ABD 17 RCB. Fine. So just to add some more ballers and all, I'll add uh, one or two more. Okay, let's give some jersey numbers like this. All done. Fine, so let's save it. So I've created a list and which is a list of players. And since I'm gonna use all that list into a main method, let's call it a static so that I can use it here inside the main. Fine. So now I would like to perform stream operations on this particular stream that I have created now. So the stream, the filter that I would like to add here is I want to choose the batsmen's out of that particular list which I have created there, right? So let's go ahead and see how can I select that. So the very first thing, obviously, I'll take players list dot stream, right? So this is something which we have already discussed yesterday. Then I can apply a filter on this, okay, and then the condition. So the condition is what we have to get the role from each player out of this particular players, and then check whether the role is equal to batsman or not. If the role is equal to batsman, then what we can do is we can just print that. Okay, so the filter is gonna be what? Let's say let's add a lambda expression which is player. Okay, then p dot get role dot equals ignore case. So what role I am looking for? I am looking for only batsman. Whether it is capital or small, everything will be retrieved for us, right? So that is done, and after that I'll just perform a for each. Sorry. Then let's just print them for each, and the system.out.println system.out. Just use a method reference there, println, and that should print me all the players who are batsmen. Let's save it and run this piece of code, and that actually prints me all the batsmen that are available. If you remember yesterday's example, we can even collect it into a new stream, right? So instead of printing it dot for each, we can use a dot collect, right? And then collect a dot as list or as a set or whatever we want, we can collect that as well. So similarly, what we can also do is we can chain the filters. Now, what is filter chaining? So this is something which is new right here. So if I want to like have batsmen that belong to only RCB, right, which is ABD and Virat. So I want to filter out those batsmen who belong to RCB only. Even that can be done by implementing chaining. So before I implement a chaining, I'll just give you this simple filter first. So let's copy this. And this is our session 34. So there should be a repository for day 34. Demo 1 filter. So here we go. Fine. So this looks more realistic, right? Yesterday I used very simple odd even number stuff and all that. So now I'm using a user defined list containing this players, and I'm retrieving the details accordingly. Now instead of using this for each, again what I can do is after completing this particular filter, one more filter can be added. Just put a dot and then again use a filter there. Now, the next condition for my filter is that I want to get the team and that team should be equal to RCB only, right? So once again, what we can do is we can say team dot, sorry, T dot get team. So it can be T, or better name would be what? Player itself, P. Let's give that player dot get team dot. Now again, equals ignore case, and the team that I'm looking for is RCB. Now you notice that while giving RCB, I've given it in capital case, but while I'm retrieving it, I'm giving it in small case. Since it is equals ignore case, it should work fine, right? So this particular filter chaining, so what am I using here is filter chaining. So we can use filter chaining here. Multiple filters can be applied on the while using the same stream. So let's save it and run this piece of code and see the result where we get only the batsman from RCB itself. Although we have some 6-7 batsmen into this particular collection that I have created, but now my condition is that I have to retrieve the batsman but belonging to RCB. So this is the use of a chaining, filter chaining. Let's copy this and put it into the repository as well. So this is my demo 2. Let's call it as filter chaining. So in this case, what we are doing, get all batsmen from RCB. That's what we are doing, right? All right. So similarly, we can retrieve the players from RCB, all players from RCB, or maybe all the bowlers out of the list, or wicket keepers from the list, or somebody whose jersey number is greater than 20 or something. Things like that can be filtered out. Now, let's now use a map. Map is used for transforming the data. Now let's try to get the player names. Instead of getting all the player details like this, let's just get the batsman names who belong to RCB, right? So that's what we are uh, looking for. So we already have a filter that filters out the player from RCB. So I'll just clean up everything that I'm using here. So let's check whether we can apply this or not. So let's filter this out, equals ignore case RCB, and then once again dot out. On this I'm now using a map, and that map again a condition which is the player dot get name. So that's what I want. Fine, and I want to print the same thing. So let's save it and run this. So now here I'm getting yeah, I removed the filter for batsman, right? So I should add the filter for batsman as well. So let's add that filter, because that's what I told you before. I want to get all the RCB batsmen. So this will get me the batsman, and this will get me the batsman from RCB. Let's now chain a map with this to get only the names of the batsmen. Okay, so let's save it and run this. Now I get all those batsmen from RCB. In the previous example where I removed this batsman stuff, I got all the players from RCB. So if you want all the players from the RCB, remove this particular filter which retrieves only the batsman. So this way we can use a map. Okay, so while using the map like I showed you yesterday, we can display it in capital case also, right? Then demo 2 map get RCB batsman names. All right. So similarly, we can also sort the players based on their jersey numbers. We can get all the players and sort them based on their jersey number. Let's see how can we do that. So we already have a players.stream. In this case, now we don't want to perform a filter and everything. Let this system.out.println and for each be there as it is. So I want to perform a stream, and then I want to perform sorting on this. Sorted. Okay. So we know that while performing sorting, we can either give just a sorted one, or we can also give a sorted with argument. You can see that the comparator. So do we have a comparator for this, which is what new player jersey number sort, right? So this is what I created before, if you remember. While dealing with the collections, I created something called player jersey number sort. So here is a comparator. So with sorted one, yesterday I told you that we can even provide a comparator like for a reverse order. I'm providing a comparator for player jersey number sort, and then I want to just print it. So let's save it and run this and check. So now you will see that the players are sorted in ascending order based on their jersey number. So Rahul comes first, then Gill, then 17 ABD, 18 Virat. So likewise, the last jersey number is 45 for Rohit. So this way we can perform sorting, right? So yesterday's sorting example was again very simple, where I sorted the numbers and in ascending order. I did not took a reverse order sort. I told you to check with the collections dot reverse order sort. Obviously the second argument, sorted takes an argument which is the comparator. So any comparator can be passed. It can even be a built-in comparator or the comparator that we create by our own. So this is my demo for sorted players on jersey number. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to check if all the players in the list are batsmen or not, right? So let's see how do we do that. So once again, I have the streams, and now what I will do is I will try and remove this particular thing. I don't want to print it for everything. That is what it will do is it will for every instant it will print either true or false for me in this case if I do this. So what I want to do is I just want to check whether all the players available into this particular list are batsmen or not. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to check. So for that there is another function called as allMatch, which again takes the condition. So what is our condition? Player, you get the player role, right? So get player role and then check whether the player role is batsman or not. So equals ignore case again. If all players are batsmen, then this is gonna return us true, right? Now this particular condition gives us a boolean result which is either true or false. So let's say store it in a boolean variable all batsmen. Okay, let's create a variable and call it as all batsmen, and I will check system.out.println whether all are batsmen or not. Okay, so all batsmen. Okay, it will tell me either true or false, this all batsmen. So just print that. So it will tell me if all batsmen are there, then true; if not, then false, right? So if I apply a filter and get all the batsmen, at that time this will become true for me. Fine. So because we know that we can change multiple things. So if I apply the filter here, filter that is again player dot get role equals ignore case batsman. If I apply all of that and then test this is gonna return me true, right? So let's save it. And there we go. Now it will return us true because I've filtered out all the batsmen from the list. So this way you can make use of this all match. So as for now, I'll just remove it. This filtering I applied only to show you that the all match, how it works. So it checks all the occurrences. That means all the collection it is checking and checking whether all the players are batsmen or not. So in this case, all the players are not batsmen. That's why it is not. That is why it is printing us false. So this is our demo 5. So all match requires everything to be true, right? All right. So you can provide in more filters and also check the things. Fine. Now, the next thing that I want to use like all match, it can also have things like any match, or it can have a none match as well. So now what I want to check is uh, check if any of the collection matches LSG or maybe MI. right? Or GT. So I want to check whether there are LSG players available into my collection or not. Or I want to check whether there are wicket keepers available into my collections or not. So those things can be checked by using an anyMatch. Instead of allMatch, what we can do is we can make use of an anyMatch. I'll use an anyMatch. I'll get the role and I want to check whether I have wicket keeper, right? So if I have, then it'll give me we have wicket keepers. So Boolean have wicket keeper. Sorry. That will tell us that if the wicket keeper is there, it will return as true, else it will return as false. So this tells us whether we have a wicket keeper in our collection or not. So let's save it and check whether we have a wicket keeper or not. So we do have a wicket keeper. That's why it is returning us true. So this is how an anyMatch works. Checks out all the collection, checks if there is a wicket keeper or not. So because we have a wicket keeper, it is returning us a true. So this is our anyMatch. Demo 6. In this example, like an anyMatch example or maybe an allMatch example, what am I using is I'm just trying to get a Boolean variable and then trying to print that. Fine. So you can even perform a collect on this and collect the wicket keepers and all that, or else you can apply a filter and then you can uh, get the batsmen into a batsman list, wicket keeper into a wicket keeper list and all that. Fine. So like we have an allMatch and anyMatch, there is one more method that is called as noneMatch. So I will leave it on you, the noneMatch. What it does is it checks if for example uh, if you want to ensure that if no player is from LSG, so at that time you can simply say uh, the same condition and then provide in the team and then check whether none of the player belongs to LSG or what. If the players belong to LSG, it is going to return you false. If not, then it is going to return you true. Fine. So similarly, let's go ahead. So I'll just add up that you test noneMatch on your own. Okay. This will be one of your assignment where you are going to check what this noneMatch does. Now what I want to do is I want to count the number of batsmen that I retrieved in my previous example. So let's go ahead and try and do that. So once again, I'll just use a player.stream. Let's remove this and then apply a filter. Okay. So let's keep that filter and get the role equal ignore case, get the batsman. And I want to count this, right? So we can just filter on this particular batsman and everything, and then simply perform a count on this. And after counting it, I want to print how many are there, right? So that returns us a long value, right? Long uh, number of batsmen. So let's print that. So similarly, what I can also do is I can check how many batsmen are there in RCB, how many bowlers are there in RCB, how many wicket keepers I have. So all that detail can be checked. Fine. So this way we can again use a count in real time. So in this case, I'm checking all the batsmen, how many batsmen are there in my list. So let's call this as demo 7. Count number of batsmen. Okay. So one of your assignment I'll give you here itself while you are working with this, that is apply a team filter on the above code and count number of batsmen in RCB. Okay, that's what you have to do. You have to perform filter chaining and then try to count the number of batsmen that are there in RCB. Hopefully you should be able to do that, because that's again very easy. Just one more extra filter you will be applying, and I've shown you a lot of filters by now. Fine. So now let's try to get a player with the maximum jersey number by using what? By using reduce. If you remember yesterday, we used reduce to, as I told you, we can use reduce to get the maximum, minimum, average and all that, right? So in this case, what I want to do is I want to make use of a reduce function and then try to get a player with the maximum jersey number. So let's go ahead and understand how do we do that. So this will again be what? Uh, let's see, reduce. And in this case, I actually want to get what? I want to get the player itself, right? So it will not be a long and all that value. So whatever value is remaining with me, I will get that particular thing, right? So reduce it to what? We know that it takes lambda again with two arguments. So let's pass in those two arguments, player 1 and player 2. And we will check if player 1 dot get jersey number is greater than the player 2 dot get jersey number. And if the first one is greater, the first one, if the second one is greater than the second one, right? So if you remember yesterday, I used a ternary operator like this. Fine. So yeah, player 1, player 2 should be fine. Anyways, yeah. Now after this, what I'll do is, uh, if it's there, then there is one more thing called as if present. We can simply print that particular player now. So instead of doing a player there, if present, then print it. System dot out println. I can use print also, because print and println what? Print prints on the same line, whereas ln prints on the next line. So as for now, no difference. So I have the player with the maximum jersey number, that is Rohit, which is being retrieved by using a reduce function, right? So this way we can retrieve that. So let's copy this and demo 8. Let's call this as demo 8. Player with maximum jersey number. So in this case, I did not include a property called as number of matches, or maybe a number of centuries, or number of wickets and all that. So if I add properties like that, I can retrieve the highest wicket taking bowler, highest run scorer, or I can select a batsman who has scored highest number of centuries, minimum centuries, and the bowler with the least economy. All that can be retrieved by using this reduce functionality. Fine. So now let's go ahead and also think of something like, now what I want to use is I want to use a collect. I want to collect all the batsmen from RCB. That's what I want to collect now. So let's go ahead and batsman from RCB is something I retrieve, right? Filter chaining. Yeah, get all batsmen from RCB. So this is something which I used before. The same example, what I want is I want to make a list of all batsmen from RCB. That's what I wanted to, right? That's what I wanted to do. So what I will do now is I will apply all this filter, player stream should be batsman, should be from RCB. And then what I will do is, instead of printing all of this, I just want to collect this. Fine. So we can make use of this collect, and then collector dot as what? So collectors dot to list. So there we go. So this should list out all the batsmen in RCB. So and it should give me a list of player and I will call it as RCB batsmen equal to, and simply I can print all of that, right? So just do a system.out.println RCB batsman. So this is gonna print me everything. So here we go. We got all the batsmen printed from RCB. If we want, if we don't want this to be printed this way, what we can simply do is we have this RCB batsman dot for each, right? And we know we can do this system.out.println x, right? So let's save it and then we get it. So there are two batsmen available into RCB. We can do that for MI also. Batsmen from MI, team MI, GT, anything. So Rohit and Panda. So this way we can retrieve the batsman from any team of our choice. If I want to get the bowlers, I can just simply say what get me the bowlers from the team RCB. So this will be changed there. And we will get a new list now. Collect gives us what? Gives us a new list. So once we get it, once we collect it, then we can perform any other operation on this particular list as well. Okay, so let's save it and let's call this as list of RCB batsmen, right? So demo 9 list of RCB batsmen. All right, so this way we can literally perform stream operations. We can also uh, perform one more important stream operation, that is grouping. So I want to group all these players based on their team. Okay, so that's what I want to perform here, and that can be done by using a collectors dot grouping by. So let's go ahead and understand how do we do that. Now what I have is I should get all the players first. So our requirement is what? Group players by team, right? Group players by team. So that's what I want to do. And since I'm performing a grouping by team, so you understand that if I provide in a team like RCB, RCB will have multiple players into it. And then a team like MI will have multiple players into it. So can you think of a data structure that has one key and multiple values? Key value pair, right? So it should be a map, right? So I'm gonna create a map instead of a list. So it will be a map, and the map will contain two arguments. That is, one is a string that is going to be a team name, and then list of players, right? So I multiple players will be there. So it will be a list of player. The second argument will be fine. So this will be players by team, and it is a list. Map needs to be imported. So let's import that map. And this is what? Players by team, sorted by a team name. So what we want, again, a stream, no filtering, because I want all the teams to be there. So just remove that. And now what I want is I want to collect that, and I don't want to collect it as a list. I want to perform grouping, collectors dot grouping by. So group this players by what? Group them by the team, right? So p dot player dot the team property. Now what I will do is I'll have a player. I already have this class player. Get team is a function that I have. So I'm just performing a method reference. I'm providing a group and giving a method reference to this. Once I do that, after that, what I will do is I'll say player by team. Okay. And I'll perform a for each for this, and then I will print the player, that is this name of the team, and then the list of players available in that. So I should be printing the team and the player list for this. So let's create it that way. I already have a map. I already have this map. So you can use a map.entry and find that out the traditional way, the old way. Or I can also do to make you understand it in a simpler way. I can say player dot get, and if I pass a key we get the value, right? So I'll pass the key as RCB and we get the value. Value is what? List of players. So I'll just do a system.out.println, and that should actually give me what? Print me all the players available in RCB. So this is the simplest way of doing it. So it gives me players available in RCB, that is Virat and ABD and Shiraj, right? Three players I have, so I have that. So these three players are retrieved to me. So I can do it this way, an easiest way, or I can make use of a for each and then print everything, right? So let's do a players dot for each element. Now what I want is I want to get the uh, team. Let's call this as T, and then the PL as a player list. So I'll just say system.out.println now. Team should be printed, and after the team is printed, you print me a player list. Okay, that will tell us the team, that will print us the team, and then print the list of players available into that particular team. Fine. So we can also get what? Just the names of the player. Yeah, this is actually a collection of list, right? So yes, in this case again I have to use a player and then perform a for each and then get a name if I want to get a name there. Fine. So this as for now it looks good. So we are grouping the players based on their team, and we are printing all the players that are available with us. So this way you can make use of concept of grouping in streams. So this is my demo 10. Grouping players by team. All right, so this is how we can use streams in real time. Hopefully you are enjoying this series, and you continue to enjoy the series. So we are actually at the near of completing this Java module in this full stack course. After completing the Java module, I will go with what? I will go with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then Angular. So upcoming sessions, yeah, definitely there are one more session. Hopefully I'll go for Java 8 features, and after that we'll move on to HTML, then CSS, JavaScript. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I'm not gonna cover every single thing into it. I'll cover up only those things that would be required into this particular series. Like again in Java as well, I have not covered up every single thing that is available in Java, because Java 15 again records are there, and then there are sealed classes and all. So and then Java 5 generics was there, and Java's IO stream we did not cover up, Java threads we did not cover up. So I'm not covering up every single thing that's available, but what I'm covering up is whatever is required for the full stack course. I'm covering up that only, because at the end of the day we have to complete this series as well, right? So maybe in future I will create separate videos for these topics that I have mentioned, and the detailed video can be given in future, maybe not into this particular playlist, but in some other playlist I'll be giving you those demos as well. Fine. So moving forward, we will talk about one or two more classes that are available into Java 8, and then we will move on to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Obviously, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I'll cover it up very fast because I want only very few basics out of that HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we will dive deep into Angular. After that, the last module will be Spring Boot, and once we are discussing with the Spring Boot, we will also cover up SQL and NoSQL, and the NoSQL that we will be covering up is going to be MongoDB, right? So that time we will be covering those things up, and again once I say SQL and MongoDB again, which I am covering, so the basic operations that would be required for us, I'll cover up that in SQL. Same thing I'll do with the Mongo database as well. So hopefully you are enjoying the series. Stay tuned for the upcoming sessions. Thank you for your patience. If you are liking the series, do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. Thank you. See you in the next video.